Fiona Hill was until recently at the heart of White House policy making on Ukraine. A Russia expert who wrote a book on the psyche of President Vladimir Putin told lawmakers that theories that Ukraine meddled in the 2016 US presidential election were a Moscow-backed conspiracy.
Some of you on this committee appear to believe that Russia and its security services did not conduct a campaign against our country, and that perhaps, somehow, for some reason, Ukraine did. This is a fictional narrative that has been perpetrated and propagated by the Russian security services themselves.
Fiona Hill then described what we've heard all week from impeachment witnesses, a separate Ukraine policy emanating from the White House that sought to pressure Ukraine into announcing investigations against former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter. David Holmes, a career diplomat at the US Embassy in Kiev, said he and many others were aware of this campaign running counter to agreed US foreign policy. He then described a conversation with US-EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland about President Trump's attitude to Ukraine.
I then took the opportunity to ask Ambassador Sondland for his candid impression of the President's views on Ukraine. In particular, I asked Ambassador Sondland if it was true that the President did not give an expletive about Ukraine. Ambassador Sondland agreed that the President did not give an expletive about Ukraine. I asked why not, and Ambassador Sondland stated that the President only cares about big stuff. I noted there was big stuff going on in Ukraine, like a war with Russia. And Ambassador Sondland replied that he meant big stuff that benefits the President, like the Biden investigation that Mr. Giuliani was pushing.
Both witnesses expressed extreme discomfort with what they saw and heard and witnessed covering US policy on Ukraine. Holmes said he'd never seen anything like the Trump-Gordon Sondland phone call. So those were the last two witnesses in 2 weeks of public open hearings in this impeachment inquiry. Where do we go next? Well, if there's no more public witnesses, it's likely the Democrats will move towards drafting articles of impeachment, essentially charges against the president. They will then be voted on in the House and then move for a trial in the Senate. They will then, if they vote 2/3, he will be removed from office. That is unlikely. But given the testimony we've heard over the last 2 weeks, it would be surprising if the Democrats didn't start down that road. Nathan King, CGTN, at the impeachment inquiry on Capitol Hill.